FM104's Open Mic with Ruari Carroll.
Impervious to propaganda since our earliest thought. Subservient sheep to our murderous flock.
We have DustyResidents here tonight, Taff and Bradshaw. Gentlemen, you're very welcome. Hello.
Thank you very much for having us, Roy.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Where are you from? How long are you together?
We've been active really probably around 2 years now. I mean, we used to live together years ago, then we kind of separated or whatever, and just back at it about 2 years now, and just got the act together in the last really year and put out an album there just 2 weeks ago.
As DustyResidents, were you doing stuff beforehand? Like, I mean, you said you kind of broke up, and
Bradshaw was it. He was doing the Irish hip hop for a few years before we got together.
Yeah, I've been at it a couple of years. I was knocking about 5 or 6 years ago with lads like the Class A's and stuff, and did a few little gigs, bits and pieces, but I never really got seriously into it until I ran into Taff again, who is the beat maker, and he just kind of put his kick on my stuff, and then
How would you say? How would you describe the scene? Like, is it just really growing now, or what do you think the story is?
I think basically it's gotten a lot stronger over the last couple of years. A few years ago, lads were starting out. They were using kind of beats that they found on the internet.
Right.
There wasn't that many producers in Ireland helping it move forward. Now there's a lot of producers knocking about, and they've really made the MCs step up their game. And there's a lot of really good acts out there now where kind of none of that nonsense going on anymore. It's more about like a social commentary, and I think we've kind of got our own sound within the scene now.
Definitely, yeah. There's actually a sound in the Dublin scene now, like, kind of even similar, little microcosm of a scene. Like, it started off in London and everyone started getting their own sound. That's slowly but surely happening again with the help of a few people in the city that are really holding it down.
And is it still kind of would it still be fair to call it is it still kind of the niche though, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's certainly Irish hip hop's an acquired taste, Right. I wasn't even the biggest fan up until about 2 years ago when people started really honing the craft and putting out quality music. Like, we could have stuck our album out a year ago, but it just wouldn't have been what we want. You don't want to put anything out until it's properly done,
Okay. So, and in terms of the stuff you're listening to yourselves, I mean, are you just listening to hip hop all the time? Are you listening to everything and anything, or what do you listen to right now?
Myself, I'd be totally a hip hop fan. I very rarely stray from that genre. I would listen to stuff from the States, stuff from the UK, stuff from Ireland. Taffman's really the man you want to talk about, a big music library.
Yeah,
you listen to everything, do you?
Well, I'd work primarily with samples, really making beats. I think that's personally, that's my favourite type of hip hop, so I have to listen to, I listen to it because I enjoy it, but also just from sampling and having to dig through different types of music, anything from jazz to soul, kind of prog rock, ambient, anything really, because...
Can you use anything?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, some samples wouldn't be as palatable to hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some pop tracks or but like anything from jazz, funk, soul, reggae, you can change anything into it if you have a creative mind, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what it's about, really.
Is there a lot of message stuff in what you're doing? Does everything have a point and have something to say, or is there something just, fun, like is...
Well, when I'm writing my lyrics anyway, I try and do a bit of both. Like, when we started the album, we started with an overall theme. Basically, myself and Taff, we were born within months of each other, and we ended up living on the same road in Seabury, called Seabury Heights. That's eventually what we called the album.
Where's Seabury? Where's that?
It's in Malahide.
Okay, right.
So basically, what I was trying to do was I was trying to keep the overall theme of Seabury Heights throughout the tune, but it was kind of like a social commentary on growing up as well.
We were just talking during the break there just about all the kind of... There has been just a rise in Irish hip-hop over the last... Well, I'd say you said the last couple of years. For me, it's really come to my attention the last maybe 12, 18 months or so. In terms of gigs and stuff, I mean, like, what kind of gigging are you doing, and, what's the story there?
We've actually been lucky in that respect that, like, the boys that have actually been doing things the last few years, like Terrorist and the likes of given us the support. Sly has been very good to us, like shout to Terra and LD and GI and Costello and the working class boys put us on supporting them in the Workman's there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just the lads that have been doing it for a bit have been looking out for us for the most part. We've been doing a few odd gigs here and there, but we're looking to maybe throw an album launch together or something like that in the next kind of month or two as well. Like
when people say, again, getting back to the Irish hip hop thing, when people talk about it, do people say come on, you have to be black and from LA to be doing hip hop, or you have to be, you know, Irish guys just can't do it. You know, white Irish guys, skinny white Irish fellas who don't, you know,
skinny.
you know what I mean? They just can't do it. Like, what do you say to that?
Well, basically, I think if people just took the time to listen and listen to the lyrics and found out that it was nothing to do. I don't rap about being from the streets of LA.
Yeah.
I don't even rap about being a thug from Dublin, because I'm not a thug from Dublin.
Yeah.
I just write
very
about
clean cut looking young fella.
just write about what I see. Like, I just love hip hop music. I think it's become more of a universal sound now. So hopefully people just take it for what it is. And
Exactly. It's still in the birthing phases in Dublin anyway. Like, I mean, even over in England about 10 years ago, people probably laughed when there's a load of lads in London, you know what I mean, rhyming or whatever. But then people kind of acclimatised to it and realised that there's actually some homegrown talent, and hopefully that's what will happen here.
We've got Grania over here on the guitar. This is something I've noticed now as well. You know, when people think about hip hop, they tend to think of like the first track there, you know, the kind of beat and all the rest. But the guitar here, I've seen it with other groups that have been in. Is that something is that like a trend that's emerging? Or
yeah, kind of. I think that's another thing that's emerging from the Irish scene. That's that we could hone into a sound. I mean, some lads are doing it really good at the moment. Obviously, you've seen Original Real Boys.
Exactly, yeah.
Just absolutely blow up kind of from that. And I think it's a really nice sound, and it's something that you don't really see a lot in hip-hop in other areas. So.
Is it a way of... And we were talking about Funzo. You look at him; he's wormed his way into this conversation. Who's Funzo? Who's worked with a lot of other groups, and we've had him in. He says it's a way of making it a little bit more accessible. Some people might be put off by, let's say, pure hip hop. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, like, even when you put an instrument into it, a lot of people kind of, you know, there's a lot more artistic credibility if you've got like instruments or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, the way of making hip hop, you know, unless you're using a live band, which is quite seldom done, it's just more credible to have like a guitarist and a singer there. It's certainly more accessible.
How did you end up working with Grania? You're doing your own thing,
myself, yeah.
But not this kind of mash up, this kind of fusion of the two, no?
Time.
And how do you find it?
I find it works well. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A woman of few words.
Just let her sing it. Just let her sing it to me.
I like singing.
So you can just sing the answers back.
Yeah, it'll be like Les Miserables or something. You can sing it to us. So tell us about the album Seabury Heights. That's done and dusted. That's out now, or is it out now?
Yeah.
Sorry, am I reading it right? Yeah,
it's out now. Yeah, it's been out, I think, since late December. We pushed to get it out before the new year.
Okay, how did you find recording?
We found it good, yeah. We learned a few things from recording. We were recording in Electra Studios in Temple Bar with our mate Carl, mix and mastered the whole thing.
Big up Carl Murray, absolute saint in there 24 hours a day.
Well, Steph, yeah. So it's like 14 tracks, all beats by myself, all bars by Bradshaw. And put a lot of work into it. We recorded everything in the studio. We were in and out of the place for months, to be honest with you. It cut a lot of tracks, you know, because we wanted to make sure that there was no filler or anything like that. But proud of it now, to be honest with you. And it's up for free as well, like, so no excuses if anyone wants it.
Is hip hop is it different from, let's say, if you're in just a rock band where you all go in, you all pile into the studio and everyone does the whole thing? I mean, is there more or less flexibility? You know, can you lay down your vocals and then go away and work on it on a laptop, you know, in your own time? Do you have to spend as much time in studio with something like this?
It's very accessible in that way. I mean, kind of the way every song we do starts in its infancy is Tav makes beats at home and then I write at home and then we come into the studio and we put it together and then we make the changes to it when we hear it all put together. Like, so.
I mean, there is some people that work with, like, you know, they'll send off a beat to someone and the person will record the track and that's it. And there isn't much chemistry involved or anything like that, but like, we be constantly to and fro with each other, you know what I mean? Like, and just it has to be a collaboration really, as opposed to just like send it by email or whatever and that's it, the track's done. But so we get in the studio, we started off in its infancy, write the rhymes, then lay it down, and then our mate puts the finishing touches, Carl mixing and mastering the affair, and that's it. Like,
in terms of gigging, you know, what's the story? Is there any shows coming up, or you know, what's going on there? At
the moment, we have nothing coming up, simply because we've been working so hard on kind of getting the album done, and then there was videos to come after it. So we're going to start promoting through gigs very soon. Anybody who wants to book us, obviously, we're available. DustyResidents@gmail.com. Go onto the Facebook. Get me on Twitter, Bradshaw88. We're going to do our own album launch soon, but if you just add the Facebook, we will let you know about all of that.
Okay, well, gentlemen, and Grania, it's been great having you in. Taff and Bradshaw, it's been a pleasure having you in.
Thank you
nice
very
feedback
much.
there on the text and on the Facebook.